I can sound like, with the benefit of hindsight, the man who knew everything, but I've been standing in front of rooms full of people like this and saying, in my view, corporation tax ain't going up, it's going down, if anything. And what have we got? No change at all. Is it relevant? Well, it's fairly relevant, because what we have is corporation tax at relatively low rates compared to income tax. Income tax, national insurance going up, corporation tax being held. That is relevant. It's relevant for all sorts of planning opportunities that you might want to take advantage of. Capital gains tax, people have been saying, seems like all year, capital gains tax really low, bound to go up. There's one change that's bound to happen, capital gains tax, that's the one, it's going to go up. I've had clients say, I must sell, I'm going to sell my business and it must be before the 5th of April because capital gains tax is low, it's bound to go up. And I have been saying consistently, I don't think it will, because this capital gains tax regime was only introduced by friend Darling 2 years ago. Why would he change it? It was changed specifically to attack our private equity friends, the effect being that it raised their rate of tax from 10% to 18%. That's what it was done for, and it still has that effect. I found it very difficult to believe there would be a change, and I was right. Paul will tell you about the one change, which is to do with something called entrepreneur relief, which is a good change. But I won't trample over his presentation. Suffice to say, now the clients, and I have 2 of them, not in this room, I hasten to add, but I have 2 clients who have said, I must do it before the 5th of April, must, and they're saying, I must do it on the 6th of April. The rules changed yesterday sufficiently for 2 clients in the throes of doing a deal to say, I now want to change the tax year, which we can do. It's good. So, further headlines. Inheritance tax. Inheritance tax has been frozen, which, in my view, is a very bad thing. There has been all sorts of talk about the inheritance tax threshold being raised. If you believe the Tories and they get in, it might be raised significantly. But this government had previously indicated that the threshold would keep going up. They then said, oh, for this year it's going to be frozen at 325,000. Now we're told it's going to be frozen like that for the next 4 years, which is a significant increase in the real rate of inheritance tax for a number of estates. The good thing is that various planning opportunities that exist haven't been altered in any way, and I'll be talking about those when I do my roundup. There's a few very minor VAT changes, but again, I'm going to let Dean talk about that. I'm not here to talk about VAT at all, but I'll say one thing, just one thing. When are they going to raise the standard rate? Because I'd like to say you heard it here first, but you probably heard it all sorts of places elsewhere. It's going to have to go up. If the government are going to raise money, there are only 3 places they'll raise money. Income tax, national insurance contributions, VAT. I'm not sure anybody's got the appetite to push income tax yet higher. National insurance keeps going up. VAT is the obvious one. You can meddle with inheritance tax, with capital gains tax, as much as you like. It doesn't raise any money. You're wasting your time. VAT raises serious money. We know that because when, in 2009, they reduced the standard rate from 17.5% to 15% as that stimulus package, it cost £12.5 billion. Huge sums of money. Huge sums of money. My prediction is it will go up. SDLT, as I say there, a little bit of pain, a little bit of gain. The pain is clear for anybody about to buy a property for more than £1 million, because there will be a fairly swinging rate, 5% SDLT on that. That is big numbers. I mean, the numbers are big at the moment if you pay at 4%, but for 5% on properties over £1 million, that's big numbers. What we heard was a relieving provision which had me very excited, very excited. I'll share with you that I'm in the throes of buying a flat for my younger daughter, and I pitched the price perfectly in the negotiations at £249,950, because that, I thought, will get me below 3% stamp duty land tax and into the 1% band, and they accepted the offer. I thought, this is good. Probably means I'm overpaying. Probably means it's only worth 200,000. But there we are. I'm buying my younger daughter a flat. But I don't trust her. Lovely girl, but she's young and she's pretty. And she attracts the wrong kind of man. And takes after a father. So what I'm doing, I'm creating a trust for my daughter. And it's the trust that's going to buy the flat. And because I know I can get main residence relief through a trust, and I can protect the asset from my daughter's follies, her predators and creditors. Now, will my trust qualify for this 0 rate of stamp duty? I don't know. I don't know. I read all the papers I can read, and what does it tell me? It's only for first-time buyers. Clearly, I'm not a first-time buyer. My trust is a first-time buyer because I only formed it 2 days ago, but I don't know. If I buy it in my daughter's name, no problem, but if I buy it myself in a trust, not sure about that. Right, quickly to the end, a bit of meddling with capital allowances, the headline rate. I think Paul might be going to talk about this, but something called the annual investment allowance has been doubled, which is a good thing. But this year, we had got first-year allowances, a temporary measure. And this is where I've been wrong, because I said, these temporary measures, they're bound to renew it. If you're used to getting first-year allowances, you can bet your life, when it comes to an end, it will be renewed, and I'll be standing in front of a room full of people saying, we've got first-year allowances still. I was wrong. First-year allowances are being phased out, but the annual investment allowance has been doubled. A bit more meddling about that. The detail, of course, is all the anti-avoidance legislation and the compliance measures. Some headline-grabbing items there. People with offshore bank accounts who haven't disclosed properly could be facing a penalty of now 200% of the tax. Nobody in this room, I hope, is in that position. I'm sure that cannot possibly be the case, but there are some swinging provisions in there. And lots of pieces of anti-avoidance legislation. I think Paul's going to pick up on some of these in his talk. And finally, of course, the headline measure, which is hardly a headline anymore because it was a headline in December when it was announced, and it's coming to the end of its effective period, is the bank payroll tax. How many bankers in the room? Well, quite a lot, actually. Put it another way, how many bankers in the room were expecting a bonus of £25,000? Well, hopefully some of you chaps will be, but anyway, I don't act for any banks. I'm not particularly interested in it. The blurb implies that it's raised a couple of £1 billion, which I'm slightly surprised at, but anyway, that's the blurb. But they're the headlines. Rising income tax, stationary corporation tax, attractive capital gains tax.